So, Ed, yeah, thank you. We're supposed to have Eamon today. I believe he's stuck on a plane. We agreed that I was going to give him a real grilling, so I'll try and take it easy on you. We're going to be talking all about kind of fighting fake IDs and hear more about Onfido's solution. So founded in 2012, Talis Capital invested in 2016, and we've had the pleasure over the last 3 years really seeing you grow into now the global leader of ID verification using your AI solution. But do you want to tell us a little bit more about what it actually does and how it all works?
Yeah, so in simple terms, we are there to verify that you are who you claim to be. Traditionally, this meant going into a bank, having a document notarized, sending something through snail mail and hoping that you'd get the response you wanted. These days, it's a few clicks on a mobile phone, capturing a selfie, capturing an image of your government-issued identity document. We'll verify both and come back to the business and say, yeah, this looks good, or hang on, something's a bit off here.
Yeah, so I mean, at Talis, we've invested in quite a few AI or machine learning-driven companies, including Darktrace, Luminance, you guys. I guess, recent stat that we saw was 4 out of 5 startups who are claiming that they have AI or deep learning at the very core of their IP. Actually, when you get to sort of digging around, don't have any AI really at all. So what does it really mean to have real deep learning within the business? And I understand you guys use more of a kind of hybrid approach to the solution as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic for investments, so no wonder 4 out of 5 are claiming it.
Everyone's got it in their name now as well.
Exactly. What it means for us is scale and being able to do things more accurately. And without some of the human issues that we see when you would do this manually. So we offer what we call a hybrid solution, and the idea is we put the machine to work to verify the document, and what that's doing is picking up the image, classifying it, is that a passport, is it a driving license, removing the information from that document, verifying if that information matches what we would expect to see, and ultimately visually inspecting that and saying, yes, this is genuine, or no, there are signs that this has been tampered with. And not least then checking the face in the document with the one of the person's face themselves and saying, yeah, and the person who's presented this, that's their document. And so you can do all of that with humans, but it's a lot faster, a lot more accurate if you can lead with technology, and that's very much what we mean by hybrid. We're still getting to 100% automation and getting to 100% AI, but in the meantime, we use man and machine to support.
So I read a stat the other day that in the US, 1 in every 3 adults have had their ID stolen, and it's costing the economy over $5 trillion every year. So even to have that 20% margin of non-accuracy seems still pretty big. Do you think we'll ever get to 100%? Are there other people out there aiming for that as well?
We're all aiming for it. I think if anyone today claims that they are doing it, it's quite another thing, and probably they're believing their own hype. I think the aim, clearly, 100% accuracy, and to the point at which fraudsters are unable to get through or just stop trying because there are just too few opportunities for them to cheat the system. I think the problem is, in our last report, we told the world that fraud is a 9 to 5 industry. We see a highest propensity of fraud between the hours of 9 to 5, and then they knock off on the weekend. They are trained professionals, and this is their job, and so they will always find those weak links. And as the surface area for fraud increases, i.e. new consumer experiences, new expectations, so too do the opportunities to commit fraud. So it's not quite a cat and mouse game. There are things that we can do to sort of leapfrog some of their advances and some of their improvements, but we're always playing a bit of a juggle between catching fraudsters today and catching them in tomorrow and future years.
Yeah, and I guess, for us looking in different kind of applications of this, ID theft is and protection and fraud is the obvious one, but also looking into different kind of applications and industries where you feel like there's a real opportunity there. We discussed earlier gaming and looking more towards positive ID verification. Mm-hmm. What are some of the industries that you're really excited about from Onfido?
Yeah, we look at where there's regulation that requires this, because companies naturally need our services more when that's the case, and gaming and gambling is a good one because the regulation is increasing and there's more appetite to regulate. We also look at public consciousness, and the gaming industry is under fire, at least in this country at the moment, for sort of fueling gambling addictions and gaming issues, and not really self-policing in the way that they perhaps could have been. So yes, the gaming industry is a huge one for us, but actually we're really still scratching the surface about where identity verification could play a role. We work with digital GP providers to verify users before they get consultation. A big sector for us is the rental car or hire car market, where they want to do this thing called desk bypass, which is not getting off a plane and waiting for an hour to get your car. And e-voting is another one which is coming online. So there are many other use cases besides, but certainly financial services, gaming, and retail are the ones that we focus most on.
And what about, there's been a lot of coverage at the minute around deepfakes, so these, doctored images, videos. I mean, some of them are quite funny, and some of them are quite seriously, shouldn't be being shared. Yeah. Do you guys have an offering for the media space, and how does that affect the accuracy if something's been doctored?
Yeah, hopefully you've all seen an example of deepfakes. The Barack Obama one is the one which most people know about. A mashup of a very convincing video of the individual and a very convincing voiceover, and their lips moving in sync. And those, would probably fool all of us if we saw it and didn't know it was a deep fake. The good thing for us in the way we do our business is right now deepfakes are very much focused on a sort of pre-recorded video structure. And we have technology which can see if you're taking an image not of yourself there live, but actually of a screen or of even just a printout of something. And so for us, we can assess that would be a deep fake and reject accordingly. But there are so many ways to produce deep fakes out there. It's not something that we can stem the flow of. I suppose where we invest more is working out the standards to improve the ID verification industry's game in this. So we work with the FIDO Alliance and chair one of their boards around standards for identity verification. And we're also working with the Information Commissioner's Office in this country around their privacy sandbox to try and reduce bias, particularly racial bias, so that we as an industry up our game and are better able to spot fakes, whether deep fakes or otherwise.
Cool. I hate to border into politics and voting for fear people might throw their coffee at me, but you did touch on, your recent partnership with Agora and your sort of e-voting case study in Sierra Leone. Do you think for me that's really exciting. It's all about improving transparency and also accessibility, within voting, and people can do that remotely. Is that something we're likely to see in the UK, do you think, in the near future?
I think the technology already exists. We already see remote voting in countries like India, France, Canada. It's not for want of the tech, as you said. Zero knowledge and IDV and cryptography are already there and can make this quite seamless behind the scenes as that kind of infrastructure. I think the willingness is what's missing. So in this country, some of our parties are actually concerned about showing identity when you vote in person, let alone doing so remotely. 1 in 5 of us in this country actually votes with a postal vote, and good luck in verifying yourself successfully via the post. So we've got quite a way to convince politicians and probably others besides that technology is the way forward. And moreover, many people will not have opportunity to access some of these technologies. So we will always need other ways to make sure we maximize voters. But it's probably up to us as a democracy to demand more of this tech and demand more of these advances from our politicians than to wait idly by.
Yeah. And, another kind of, I guess, debate going on in the media really is around using more of AI across all kind of government-led services. One being facial biometrics, which is, really how Onfido works, and identifying a person's face being used by the Met Police in general kind of public observation through CCTV cameras. Do you guys, have a stand around the morality of using that? All of your products are voluntary participation. What's your view on, using those sorts of tools?
Yeah, you touched on it really well there. It's about the consent model and whether the user has consent for the identity verification to go ahead. So when I'm signing up for a Monzo bank account or trying to access GP services, I would expect to be verified, and I have to actually consent to that verification. I think the notion of in the wild biometric verification, where you can't feasibly consent to your face being captured and verified, even for purposes of benign purposes around catching criminals, it's that consent model that's lacking. So I think we need to have a debate as society and say, do the pros outweigh the gains, and are we comfortable going down the track, certainly in this country, that we did around CCTV, where it's ever present and there's general tacit agreement that that is right. Right now, I don't think we have that. And San Francisco is a good example of a city where they said, actually, that's not for us. So.
Yeah. So quick last question. I know we're running out of time. What's the kind of end goal for Onfido? Where are you guys going, and is there an exit on the horizon for you?
Yeah, I think in speaking to the founders about this, they want to build a bigger, better company. They see the business at Onfido as a $100 billion business, and we're nowhere near there. It's always a case of what's the 5-year horizon, where can we take this? So for now, it's investing, it's growing into markets that we're not in today, and generally building a bigger, better, brighter Onfido.
Great. We'll look forward to continuing on that journey with you. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.